Salam to everyone, and peace be upon all of you. Here we are, in Abu Simbel, after 300 kilometers, and 4 hours self-driving on the road, on our rental car.
Assalamualaikum, going to Abu Simbel. Straight? Turn left, okay. Turn left, okay. Shukran, Jazakallah khair.
Have you ever come across a Malay Singaporean and a Malay Sarawak Malaysian, just like us, self-driving a rental car across Egypt's Nubian Sahara Desert, right up to the southernmost Egyptian city of Abu Simbel, near the Sudan border? Today, we are taking you on a journey, where we don't just visit Abu Simbel Temple, but we will be the ones locking it up for the night as well. Most tourists who visit Abu Simbel would either hop on a package tour, or a day-trip guided van in the early morning. But for us, we wanted the freedom to see Egypt our way. It is rare for travelers from Singapore and Malaysia to drive 300 kilometers through this Sahara Desert. The feeling and experience of adventure is absolutely worth it. As Malay Muslim travelers, stepping into Abu Simbel town made us feel both foreign and familiar. We were definitely touched by the warmth of the people. It is a side of Egypt which we felt was better compared to persistent hustlers in Cairo.
Bye-bye, thank you so much. Thank you. Yes. And this is the owner, yes. The most hospitable owner in the whole of Egypt. Most friendliest, most welcoming. Come to Samastas Hotel. Yeah.
By mid-afternoon, when most visitors and tourists had left, we entered into the site of Abu Simbel Temple, a UNESCO World Heritage Site that is as majestic as it is mysterious. And here is where the adventure turns into something truly extraordinary. Right now, we are walking down this quiet stone path, descending slowly from the main ticket entrance of the temple complex. There is no crowd pushing us, no rush at all. Just the desert wind, the crunch of our footsteps, and that building sense that something massive is about to reveal itself. As you can see on our right and in front of us, the stunning Lake Nasser glimmers strikingly under the afternoon sun. An endless stretch of water so vast, it feels like the desert suddenly ends in an ocean. But what lies ahead is even more breathtaking. You have surely seen pictures of Abu Simbel Temple. You have most probably watched travel documentaries showing it from afar. But what they don't tell you is this. There is a moment of pure anticipation you cannot capture on a postcard. As we turn around this corner, the priceless jaw-dropping sight from afar reveals itself. Carved into the mountain, standing as if time itself bows to its presence, are the colossal statues of Ramesses II, towering over us, guarding the Abu Simbel Temple with silent authority. It was as if the temple itself was breathing, welcoming us into its quiet embrace, revealing details most visitors miss in the crowd's haste. This rare solitude allowed us to truly connect, and to feel the weight of history and the mystery carved ahead. The Abu Simbel Temple complex in Egypt actually features two temples, the Great Temple of Ramesses II, and the small Temple of Queen Nefertari. The first temple you see here is the Great Temple, dedicated to Ramesses II. This temple is famously known for its 4 colossal statues of Ramesses II at the entrance. Located nearby, about 100 meters northeast of the Great Temple of Ramesses, is the small Temple of Nefertari, which is dedicated to Queen Nefertari, the chief wife of Ramesses II. There's something magical about exploring a place, when the world has moved on, when the only sound is your own breath, and footsteps echoing through eternity. Here is the secret you have been eagerly waiting for. By mid-afternoon, when most tour buses and tour vans already left with most of the day trip tourists, the famous Abu Simbel Temple becomes almost empty. We had planned it this way, in order to experience this UNESCO wonder without the crowd. Just the two of us, Southeast Asian travelers, and the guardians of history. To arrive in the mid-afternoon meant that the vast Abu Simbel Temple complex was nearly empty, with the giant statues standing tall in golden light, like silent sentinels watching over us. No shouting groups, no selfie sticks blocking the view, just the quiet majesty of history unfolding around us. This isn't just architecture. This is ancient history, staring right back at us. The atmosphere surely hits differently, to be able to personally see it up close, after a 300 kilometers journey, self-driving on our own rented wheels, especially for two Southeast Asian travelers like us. As we walked into the ancient Abu Simbel Temple, the scale of these colossal statues, with various intricate carvings, were simply jaw-dropping, especially with almost no one around to crowd the experience. This is the kind of moment you dream about, standing in a place so ancient, so sacred, with just the echoes of history around you. As we step inside, the air cools instantly. It felt like crossing a threshold into another world. The massive pillars aren't just support, but they're colossal statues of Ramesses himself, with arms crossed in the eternal pose of Osiris, the god of the afterlife, which the ancient Egyptians believed in. Each one seems to watch us as we pass, silently guarding the secrets of the temple, as if weighing whether we're worthy to walk deeper. The walls are alive with stories, with hieroglyphics climbing the sandstone, like a tapestry woven by time. Here, Ramesses offers tribute to the gods. There, he stands victorious in battle. You can see scenes of great battles, of offerings to the gods, of pharaohs standing hand in hand with the divine. And if you lean in and look closely, you'll find tiny details no postcard will ever show you, such as a faint chisel mark, a faded color, or even a symbol half hidden in the shadows. These are details you would missed if you had rushed through. With no crowds to hurry us, we explored every hidden corner, and ventured into small side rooms, filled with battle scenes, carved in stone. We navigated through narrow corridors, that felt like secret passages. Every wall here holds a message from the past, and with the temple nearly empty, it felt like those messages were meant for us alone. Somewhere deep inside, a mysterious question stirs. If these walls could speak, what would they tell us, that history books never could? And then, the path through the temple leads us to the sanctuary, known as the holiest chamber, hidden at the very heart of Abu Simbel Temple. This is the place we hinted at earlier, where the ancient priests once stood, in the presence of the ancient Egyptian gods themselves. At the back of this holy sanctuary, lies 4 statues, seated side by side. The statues are of Ramesses II, Ra-Horikti, Amun-Ra, and Ta. In ancient times, the sun would shine directly onto 3 of them, twice a year, in a display of perfect architectural precision. We did not know about it yet, but soon, we would be invited to do something here, that no tourist has ever been allowed to do. Normally, visitors can only look from a respectful distance. But today, the temple guardian looked at us, smiled, and secretly gestured forward. His voice was quiet as he invited us over, to go over and enter the barrier of the sanctuary, to allow us to sit next to the 4 figures, for our photo memory's keepsake. Just when we thought the day could not get any better, the temple guardian secretly reaches into his sling bag and pulls out something unexpected. A large, heavy key appeared, molded exactly like the Ankh, which is an ancient Egyptian key-like symbol, shaped like a cross with a loop at the top. The Ankh is often referred to as the key of life, or the Egyptian cross during ancient times of the pharaohs, and represents life, immortality, and the afterlife, in ancient Egyptian culture. The temple guardian handed it over in our hands and said, "This is your special moment. Use this key to close the temple for today." As the temple door closed, the last sliver of light inside faded into darkness. A surreal thought crossed our minds. Behind those walls, the ancient mysteries of Egypt sit in silence, and today, we knew we were the last to stand before them. As we walked away towards the main exit, with the 2 temples of Abu Simbel now behind their locked doors, the desert air strangely feels different. It seemed quieter, and heavier. Especially with physically no one around at all in the vast complex except for us. It felt like Abu Simbel had entrusted us with a small piece of its legacy, even if it was only for one evening. We took one last look before leaving. Ramesses II stood there in the fading light, as he has for over 3,000 years, and we walked away, knowing this wasn't just a trip. For 2 Malays from Singapore and Sarawak, this was a journey into history, and history let us in. With the sun disappearing below the horizon, the Azan Maghrib call to prayer drifted across the town village, echoing from the mosque near the main square, and rising above the stillness of the Sahara Desert. For us, it felt like a reminder that no matter how far we travel, the call of faith always finds us. After Maghrib, our stomachs reminded us that it had been a long day since our morning journey from Aswan. The desert drive, the temple, the emotions, all of it had built up quite an appetite. While exploring along the street next to the masjid, this little bakery shop caught our eye. The warm smell of dough and cheese drifted out onto the street, pulling us in like a magnet. These two friendly gentlemen welcomed us with wide smiles and curious glances, maybe wondering how two Malays from Singapore and Sarawak had found their way to their quiet corner of town, all by themselves.
Naam spicy. Naam spicy. Naam spicy. Lazizun spicy.
We ordered 2 of their local-styled pizzas for takeaway, hot from the oven, with that unmistakable smell of fresh bread and melted Egyptian cheese filling the air. While waiting, we struck up a conversation with the 2 brothers. Their shop, they told us, was called Abu Rama. As we chatted, we realized something: their food deserved to be known by travelers from all over the world who come to Abu Simbel in search of hot, piping, fresh and cheap pizza pastry bread. We immediately added their shop in Google Map with the exact location to help them put Abu Rama Pizza officially onto Google Maps. It was a small gesture, but for them it meant a lot, and for us, it felt like giving something back to the place that had welcomed us so openly.
Spicy. Good. Spicy. Spicy, yes. Thank you. Shukran, spicy. Bye. Thank you so much. Thank you.
And that was our day in Abu Simbel. It was a journey of history, faith, and connection, one we'll carry with us forever. But this isn't the end. After the pizza dinner takeout, we will head back to a hotel right here in Abu Simbel, where we'll spend the night before driving back to Aswan. Abu Simbel has already surprised us. Who knows what the next day will bring? So, if you enjoyed this adventure, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share, so you don't miss the next episode. Until then, Assalamu alaikum, and see you in the next chapter of our journey.